gato flotador. ¡No! ¡Pailita! ¡Pailita, no! What's up?
Слушай, я тебя боюсь уже не...
像一道闪电一样射了出去，丢向别人。
Careful. Hey.
Some bullshit. What are you looking at?
That's your tulip.
Shark, you hungry?
Maverick, baby, you don't need treats. Does anybody else's cat? Ow, ow! Do that at all?
What did you do? Are you kidding me right now?
오. 팔 달래요.
Chia, możemy Oscaru!
I don't know who this girl is. We don't know if it's a gang still. That's my main concern. Whatever that other girl took from his heart and took him to feel that. But who knows what he'll do this time to the gang. I just...
Are you taking a bath, buddy? Why does it look like that?
Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, MIT Discovers the Tiny Shadow Under the Bed. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Today's vlog starts with a strange sound. Thump, thump, thump. At first, I thought it was something falling on the floor. But no. Turns out it was just MIT, my fluffy troublemaker dog, sprinting across the hallway like he had just unlocked a new level of chaos. When I peeked out of my room, I saw him standing stiffly beside my bed, tail frozen mid-wave, ears tilted forward like a detective who had discovered a top-secret mission. MIT, what are you doing? I asked. He didn't even blink. Instead, he lowered his head, pointed his nose toward the floor, and let out the softest woof, the kind he uses only when he's excited and confused at the same time. Then, he crouched down and peeked under the bed. That's when I knew something serious was going on. MIT's back legs stretched straight, his fluffy but wiggling in the air. His front paws dug into the floor as if he was preparing to crawl into a secret underground tunnel. I leaned down beside him and looked under the bed too, fully expecting to see a missing slipper, a dust bunny, or maybe the snack he hid last week. But no, there was a tiny, moving shadow. Before I even processed what it was, MIT jumped back like the shadow had slapped him. His eyes went wide. His tail puffed slightly. Then he barked once, loudly, dramatically, like he had just discovered an alien civilization living under my bed. I burst out laughing. MIT, however, took this matter very, very seriously. He approached again, one slow paw at a time. Tap, tap, tap. His nose stretched closer to the shadow. The shadow moved. MIT yelped and jumped backward again, bumping into the dresser like a furry rubber ball. The mystery had officially begun. For the next 10 minutes, I watched MIT alternate between bravery and pure panic. He circled the bed. He sniffed the floor. At one point, he even barked at my blanket as if it knew something. Finally, he seemed to gather all the courage inside his little heart and dove under the bed. Halfway. Only halfway. His head and front paws were inside. The rest of his chubby body remained outside like a furry doorstopper. His tail wagged aggressively. This was hunt mode. I lay on the floor next to him, lifting the blanket so I could see better. The shadow wiggled. MIT growled in his cutest way, the kind of growl that sounds more like someone humming through a kazoo. He inched closer, his backside lifting slightly as he prepared to pounce. Suddenly, swoosh. The shadow moved toward him. MIT retreated so fast that he slid across the floor like a puppy-shaped mop. He shook his head, sneezed, then barked at me as if saying, "Human, do something. The enemy is tiny but dangerous." I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and pointed it under the bed. The moment the light hit it, the tiny shadow revealed itself. It was a baby gecko, a harmless, tiny, wiggly gecko. MIT froze, blinked twice, raised one paw, tilted his head. His entire expression said, "Seriously? That's it." The gecko blinked back, calm, emotionless, completely unfazed by MIT's dramatic performance. But in MIT's world, this was a boss battle. He growled again. The gecko twitched. MIT leaped back like it had thrown a fireball at him. I couldn't stop laughing. The threat was about the size of MIT's nose, yet my brave warrior dog was treating it like a legendary dragon. After a long negotiation, mostly me telling him, "It's okay, you're still my hero," MIT slowly approached the gecko again. This time, he didn't bark. He didn't growl. He just stared, intensely, and the gecko stared back. A full 30-second stare-off. Then, as if concluding it wasn't worth his time, the gecko calmly walked away and disappeared into the wall crack. MIT watched it leave, chest puffed out, tail raised high, as if saying, "Yes, I have spared your life. You may go. Sure, buddy. Whatever helps you sleep tonight." Once the mission was complete, MIT sprinted around the room proudly, doing his victory zoom eyes. His paws thumped against the floor like little drums as he bounced from one corner to another, probably convinced he had just protected the entire household from a terrifying intruder. I followed him around with the camera, laughing, capturing his triumphant barks, proud tail wags, and occasional glances under the bed, just checking to make sure the shadow hadn't returned for revenge. He eventually hopped onto the couch, sat upright like a tiny king, and looked at me with the proudest expression I had ever seen. I scratched his head and told him he was the bravest dog in the world. He didn't bark. He didn't wiggle. He just closed his eyes and leaned into my hand like a baby who had completed a grand adventure. And for a moment, it genuinely felt like he believed he saved the day. In his heart, he really did. Tying the story to real life plus practical advice. Watching MIT bravely confront a tiny shadow under the bed reminded me of how often we humans react the same way in daily life. Many times, the things we fear, new responsibilities, unexpected problems, unfamiliar challenges, look huge and intimidating in our minds. But just like MIT's terrifying enemy that turned out to be a tiny gecko, most of our worries become much smaller once we face them directly. MIT also taught me something important. It's okay to be scared at first. What matters is showing up again, step by step, just like he kept approaching the shadow until he understood it. In real life, this can mean asking questions when you feel lost, taking small steps instead of waiting for the perfect moment, or simply being patient with yourself during tough times. Another lesson is to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. MIT treated his little discovery like a heroic adventure, and that's a reminder for us to acknowledge our progress, even when others can't see how big that moment feels to us. So next time life throws a shadow under the bed at you, remember MIT. Be curious, be brave, and celebrate every step forward.